Novak Djokovic was said to be washed up and on his way out after being dominated by Carlos Alcaraz in last month's Wimbledon final. He hadn't won a title all year or beaten a top 10 player. And with his knee meniscus injury still causing him problems in Paris at the Olympics, his chances of beating Alcaraz again to win the one big title missing from his trophy cabinet looked a bit slim. But the Joker proved everybody wrong for like the thousandth time on Sunday, beating Alcaraz to claim perhaps the biggest title of his life. Simply the best. Hey, my name is Christian Bass9 and welcome to Christian's Court, where I cover tennis from all angles. If you have not yet already, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post more excellent content like this, and join Christian's crew. We'd love to have you. Novak Djokovic has finally claimed that elusive Olympic singles gold medal after taking down young Spanish phenom Carlos Alcaraz 7-6, 7-6 in nearly 3 hours. Even though this match was, of course, a straight setter, for me, it's the best match of the year thus far on the men's side. There was very little between these two champions, and not a single break was conceded throughout the entire match, which is crazy, especially considering how both men had a plethora of opportunities to break early on. Djokovic had break looks in Alcaraz's opening two service games, namely being up love 40 in that 2-1 game. But credit to Carlitos, the Spaniard came up with the goods when his back was against the wall, simple as that. Alcaraz arguably had more opportunities overall to get that break edge in the opening set, as he was first up love 30 at 1-all. He missed out due to some pretty bad shot selection mistakes, like going for big forehand down the lines when he wasn't quite in position. Carlos had 3 break points at 2-all, but he wasn't able to make a single return back in play on any of them, although most of that was due to solid serving from Nole. Alcaraz had 4 more break opportunities at 4-all, and his first 2 missed opportunities were just really Novak just being too solid in some exciting rallies. Then backhand errors from the 21-year-old really did him in on his 3rd and 4th opportunities, as he first missed a return wide due to Djokovic kind of pressuring him as he came in and served and volleyed. And then on the 4th missed opportunity, you could say that Carlos made a forced error on that backhand side, but he'll definitely be kicking himself on that one as he netted it, and it was a very makeable shot. On the bright side, Carlos did do well to push this opener to a tiebreak, considering how he faced a set point at 6-5, but Novak reminded us that he is the tiebreak king because he just went into lockdown mode in that opening set tiebreaker, taking it convincingly 7-3. Things were far more straightforward on serve in the second set for both of these guys, as there was just one total break point look in that second set, which Novak had at 1-all. Even though Alcaraz served first and was pretty much always ahead in the score, it just seemed like he was always playing catch up for some reason to Djokovic, because the serve just always seemed to apply pressure to the Spaniard's service games. To be honest, the end of the second set was very anticlimactic, as both guys cruised on their serves, and then Djokovic just completely dominated that second set tiebreaker. After 2-all, Novak played his best tennis of the entire match, probably of the entire year, as he just hit some incredible shots and just amped up the aggression even more, while Alcaraz netted some routine neutral balls. But Djokovic finished things on his racket, hitting his 25th winner of the match on match point, a forehand to finally get the gold. With the win, Djokovic is now the 5th player in history to complete the career Golden Slam in singles, which is when you win all 4 major singles titles and the Olympic singles gold, after Steffi Graf, Andre Agassi, Rafael Nadal, and Serena Williams. Serena, by the way, is the only player ever in tennis history to complete the career Golden Slam in both singles and doubles. And you know I have to shout out my girl for that. Anyways, more on the magnitude of Djokovic's win later, but I first want to talk more about how this match was won and lost. And I think the best of 3 is a big considerable factor in deciding the outcome. I am glad the Olympics changed these finals to best of 3, because initially they were best of 5 until it changed at last Olympics in the 2021 Tokyo Games. And I think I'm glad, because we just got much better tennis out of it. I'm definitely more of the best of 3 proponent crowd. Because it was best of 3, Novak had to come out guns a-blazing kind of in the start. He had to be more solid, and it wasn't more of a marathon where we kind of saw peaks and valleys. It was solid tennis throughout, especially in that opening set. I think we had such a good final because it was best of 3. And I think, to me, even though it was straight sets, it was a better final than the 2023 Wimbledon final in terms of overall quality, which is why, once again, I am a best of 3 proponent. To me, this was the best match of the year on the men's side, as I mentioned kind of in the intro. and Eve was a straight setter, so that's saying a lot. Especially the opening set was really the star of the match. It was an hour and 32 minutes long, and it just was full of excellent rallies, and I was very pleased with what I saw out there. The best of 5 matches to me really don't deliver in terms of complete quality. We had two 5-set slam finals on the men's side this year. The Australian Open between Medvedev and Sinner, and then, of course, Roland Garros between Alcaraz and Zverev. And really, both of those finals, even though they were, like, I guess, tense with it being a 5-setter, they're low-key kind of forgettable, to be honest, because the quality just wasn't there. We will remember this final, even aside from the whole magnitude of Novak winning it, we will remember this final for the quality of it, and not just it being a not just because it's a final. I do think that this being best of 3 definitely helped out Novak more than it did Alcaraz. He is the older of the two, in fact, 16 years older than the Spaniard, and Carlitos is not only, of course, younger and has more spring in his step, but he's the undisputed king of the best of 5 right now, and he really thrives in those best of 5 situations. I still think that Novak would have won this match if it were best of 5, though, because he was hungry for this gold medal, and it was just going to lay it all out there, but we wouldn't have gotten this high quality of a match and of a performance from him, so it all worked out for the best. I knew it was going to be a tougher task for Carlos compared to that Wimbledon final, just aside from the best of 3 factor, because of it being on clay rather than the Wimbledon final, which was on grass. Alcaraz was not able to overpower Nole like he did on the grass at Wimbledon, because his power is definitely diffused a bit on the clay, and it helps someone like a Novak, especially when Novak's movement is on, to be able to get a lot more balls back in play. And we kind of saw that Alcaraz, a lot of times he would have hit winners or unreturnable shots against many players, but Djokovic's movement really got himself into a lot of points, and really he stole quite a few points out there, which I think definitely frustrated Alcaraz towards the end of that match for sure. Djokovic had concerns about his knee problem after his quarterfinal win against Stefanos Tsitsipas in this tournament, but he moved better than ever, to be honest, in that Musetti semifinal and, of course, here. And I think that was a huge factor in this final. Bottom line, Novak just got so many balls back in play that he would not have gotten back in play in that Wimbledon final, and that's, again, due to it being on clay, and then I think his knee feeling in much better condition, and him feeling more prepared of the challenge of facing Carlitos. Djokovic also served much, much better in this match than he did at that Wimbledon final, as he made 74% of first serves in and won 78% of points behind that first serve, which is unbelievable. He definitely outserved Alcaraz, which was not the case at all at SW19. Novak's serve was one of the biggest contributors to his success throughout this tournament, and low-key, he was his serve bot here. That's harder to do against Alcaraz serve bot, who is an excellent returner, especially on clay, but Novak surprisingly won a good number of easy points on his serve, even behind the second serve, due to Carlitos really not returning as well as he could have. Novak's forehand was also a big star throughout this tournament, especially in this final. We all are accustomed to knowing Djokovic having the world-class backhand, but his forehand to me was better than the backhand. He used it to exploit the Alcaraz backhand, which of course is Carlos's kind of weaker shot, and it was a deadly defense to offensive shot, particularly in that cross-court one in that tiebreak. The Alcaraz drop shot was also a considerable shot, a big shot in this match, and I feel like it was 50-50. It definitely helped Carlitos early on because Novak, he was not as fast off the mark, and it did catch him off guard legitimately. And I know that Carlos did it to really test the knee of Djokovic, as of course Novak talked about him not being 100%, but ultimately I think he went to it a little bit too much, and he just used it at inopportune times. And I think there were shots where he could have driven that forehand a little bit more or used smarter shots, but he used the drop shot. And if he had maybe used a different shot at like a different time, it really could have made the difference in this match. Carlos broke down into tears after the loss when giving his post-match interviews, and I really have never seen him that emotional at all. This was definitely the toughest loss of his career by far, as he never lost a slam final, but to me, this was the equivalent of a slam for Alcaraz, especially since he was playing for his country. You know that he wanted this really badly, and he even said after his semifinal win over FAA that he was going to bring home the gold for his country, Spain, and of course that did not happen. That quote that he made is ultimately why I had him winning this match, because I was just confident that and that he was confident that he was going to win this match. But of course, when you come up against Novak, there's really confidence can only take you so far. I think that this is really the first time, or one of the biggest times, that we see and that we remember that Carlos is human. It's still unbelievable what he has been able to accomplish at the young age of 21 years old, winning 4 slams on all 3 surfaces, now with a silver gold medal. Even though he wasn't able to win the gold, still having a silver medal is an incredible feat, especially once again at this young age. He was trying to replicate what Rafael Nadal did in 2008, which was when he won Roland Garros, Wimbledon, and gold. I do think that he was literally 1 or 2 points from doing so. And while credit, of course, should be given to Novak, who was ultimately the better player in the end, especially in those tie breaks, I think that Carlitos' subpar shot-making decisions is a big reason of why he's not atop the podium. He did not show that same focus and discipline that we saw at the Wimbledon final, which was to be expected because the atmosphere in Paris is significantly different and more rowdy. So Carlos obviously he would tend to not focus as much on this occasion. Back to the devastation for Alcaraz. He's not used to losing big finals. His previous other big finals loss was at last year's Cincinnati Open, once again losing to Novak. But this one will hurt a lot more. Once again, he is only 21, and I am very certain that he will win the gold singles medal one day, especially if he remains healthy. I think he'll have at least 4 more chances at getting that gold. Now, to Novak, giving him the utmost praise, to me, this is his biggest win of his entire career. You can tell by his reaction that this win means just as much as a slam to him, if not more, since it is for his country. Considering all the circumstances surrounding this achievement, he was dealing with that knee injury problem and he underwent surgery for it less than 2 months ago. Not to mention, he is 37 years old, and people were counting him out a lot, especially after he lost that Wimbledon final, and Alcaraz was said to be the next Supreme, and people were saying there's no way Novak would be in another big final like this ever in his career again. And also, too, there was significant pressure on him, as I'm sure that Novak knew that this was his last, probably best opportunity at getting that elusive singles gold, which he had been so open about wanting so bad and how much it would mean to him. Djokovic gave a really awesome interview with NBC after his gold medal triumph, where he said that this gold medal is arguably the biggest success that he's had. I won probably everything there is to win in my individual career, Djokovic said. Winning Davis Cup and particularly a golden medal at age 37 for Serbia is unprecedented. When asked if that was the missing piece to his puzzle and if he felt more complete with himself, Djokovic said, "Yes, it is. I'm telling myself that I'm always enough because I can be very self-critical. I don't know. That's one of the biggest internal battles I keep on fighting with myself, that I feel like I haven't done enough or been enough in my life on and off the court. So it's a big lesson for me. I'm super grateful for the blessing to win a historic gold medal for my country, to complete the Golden Slam, to complete all the records." When asked if Novak felt that what he did was enough, finally he said, "I think so." I really loved that interview because to me, it showed why Novak is the GOAT, because you heard him say that, he was not satisfied even with all that he'd achieved. He was still not satisfied. And it took him winning a gold medal for him to finally feel at peace with all his accomplishments. But really just shows his relentless attitude to really go after it and just never be satisfied. And to me, that's so inspiring. Many people felt that this gold medal will make Novak feel more comfortable to retire a bit sooner, but apparently he plans on playing into the 2028 LA Games. Maybe he means in doubles or something and is trying to go for that career golden slam in doubles too to get Serena, but because he would be 41 years old at that point, which is a huge ask, especially with him seemingly dealing with more injuries at the latter part of his career. But if there's anybody that can do it, it's Novak. This right here, winning gold in Paris, will be the perfect end to Novak's career for real, if this gold medal were to be his last big title. But I think he really does want that 25th major singles title to beat the all-time record of Margaret Court, even though it's not really a legit record in my book. There's really no telling when Novak will call it quits, but for sure him and his fans will cherish this gold medal for some time. Congratulations, Novak. Before I close out this video, I want to first highlight highlight Lorenzo Musetti for becoming the first Italian man to win a tennis medal in 100 years. He won the bronze medal match over Felix Auger-Aliassime. Shout out to Felix too, by the way, for winning the bronze medal himself in the mixed doubles alongside Gabriela Dabrowski. Katerina Siniakova and Thomas Makac of the Czech Republic won the gold in the mix, while China's Zhang Zhizhen and Xingyu Wang got the silver. Speaking of China, of course, Qinwen Zheng got the gold, beating Croatia's Donna Vekic in the final. Iga Swiatek finished third with bronze. Zheng is going to be swimming in endorsement deals now, especially becoming the first Chinese woman to win gold in singles. That's a huge deal, perhaps even bigger than winning a slam. And then too, props to Iga for coming back out there after the hardest loss of her career and being able to finish third. Jasmine Paolini and Sara Irani claimed the gold in the women's doubles final, beating Diana Schneider and Mira Andreeva. Irani is now the 7th woman in history to win all 4 Grand Slams and Olympic gold medal in doubles. The Spanish team of Sara Silvia Tormo and Cristina Buxa finished third. And lastly, the Aussie team of Matt Ebden and John Pierce claimed the men's gold, beating Americans Rajiv Ram and Austin Krajicek in the finals. Tommy Paul and Taylor Fritz take home the bronze. Well, that's it for my Olympics coverage. From the drama of the American women to the retirements of future Hall of Famers to a now historic finish in the men's singles, it was an eventful games to say the least on the tennis side. Comment below your most memorable moments from these Paris Olympics. Also, do you agree with me in that this win is by far the biggest of Novak's career? Again, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you are notified whenever I post more content for the summer hardcourt swing. I'm not stopping, y'all. Thank you all so much for your support, by the way. I think I've gained like 1.5k subscribers in these Olympics, which is totally unexpected. My goal was to reach 17,000 before the games ended, and I'm with 17.7 now, so that's incredible. So thank y'all so much for your support, and y'all know the drill. I'll see y'all next time here on Christian's Court.